Well, hello there, how is everyone? I hope you're all well on this stupendous Saturday. That's it, it's stupendous, it's Saturday. And it's about 5 hours since we did the live last night. Thank you for those of you who actually joined in on that live last night. We had some laughs. Thank you to Twizzlesticks, who showed us that the gate at Wawaway Park certainly doesn't get locked at night, and it would appear that it doesn't even get closed either. So that put a few of those rumours to bed. And yes, we watched the candle-lit vigil as well for Sebastian Rogers. I was trying to remember what that was called. Save the Night or something like that. Save the Light. I can't remember, but we watched that as well. It was a good ending, and let's hope that something does come about in the Sebastian Rogers case. But look, we're talking about something a little bit different in this video. It's something that we did cover yesterday in the live, as we had Josh Cantu with us. Now, I have had to privatise the live, but I've had to privatise it because we showed some stuff in that live that had been sent, and even though we didn't show where they had come from, I just don't want that content to be taken and then ran with, and I shall explain more about that later on today in video 2. They are the text messages with respect of Brian Kohberger and, yeah, some things around him. But you're looking amazing, by the way, even after having a late night as well. You're doing well. Me, I look like a bag of shit. But anyway, what we're talking about, Josh Cantu, right? So those of you who have followed Adventures with Purpose will know who Josh is, and they'll know who Doug is. And for those of you who have been following in the aftermath since the accusations against Jared Liesek, then you'll probably understand that there's been some things happening in the background. And one of those such things was the fact that the guys who made the decision to leave AWP, they have been struck with a few issues since. Contractual obligations that restricted them from being able to do work in the area that they so loved to do and help people who, they needed their help. And I get it. I get it to a degree. At the end of the day, Jared saw them as as competition. And that's going to be the premise of this video. And that is, how many excuses can you make for a person when your argument against accusations, when you're there to support the guy through it, and I get that some will, is that he's a good person, and what he's doing with AWP is to make up for any wrongdoing that he's done in the past. So let's just set the stage here, right? What the work that AWP does is absolutely fantastic, but let's not forget that it weren't until the group completely got together that they started actually solving cases. I don't believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, that Jared Liesek actually solved any cases whatsoever on his own. And, the likes of Doug and the likes of Josh built or helped build AWP absolutely to what we know and some people still love today. But this accusation that was thrown, and let's make no bones about it, it's an accusation. At the moment, it hasn't gone through the legal process, and it would be wrong of me to say that the guy has been convicted and he should be burned at the stake like we're seeing in cases like Brian Kohberger. The only difference is we do seemingly have some evidence that would suggest that Jared Liesek himself has not only admitted to what he's done, but tried to downplay it and, apologise for it in his own way. But again, this hasn't gone through due process. So I understand that there will be people who feel that the situation could be simply a family member who is trying to leverage Jared because he is wealthy. There'll be some people who feel that because even if it is true, he done it so long ago, that it's kind of, you can be not so good when you're younger and a completely different person when you're older. But then throw in the sprinkling of some other accusations throughout that lifespan to do with fraud and such and theft. Again, just accusations, but they're there. Do you know what I mean? So you have to then, this comes down to moral obligation and who you are as a person and what side of the fence you fall on. And Doug Bishop, Josh Cantu, and the rest of the team who left AWP when these accusations came to light, they made a moral, obligated, driven decision to walk away from AWP. But should they have been punished for it? And would a good man in his heart, whose working life has been to set rights wrong, or just to carry on doing these fantastic things for people who need their help, would he do the things he is doing to these people? Most of that is being directed at Josh Cantu. Now, I have been shown some information, I have been given some information, and this is trust now, because I cannot show where that come from yet, and that is yet, because where it comes from, if I put it on the screen, I'm likely to get hit with, some you know what's going to happen. So I'm not, but I am going to discuss two things that were put in there, and the two things that came from that is very much that Jared Liesek is looking to financially ruin Josh Cantu and his young family. I've spoken about this briefly before, but I absolutely have proof of it. Absolutely have proof coming directly from the horse's mouth that this is about just trying to financially ruin Josh Cantu, and in the process try to stop and stall the likes of Doug Bishop. I've seen messages between certain individuals who flat out said and strategically placed that legal, attack on Josh to happen right at Christmas, and laughing about it using the hashtag Merry fucking Christmas. I'm paraphrasing, but Merry Christmas, Josh, or Merry fucking Christmas, in that he got his lawsuit filed against him today. Do you know what I mean? And I just think to myself, is that the actions of a good man? Or is that the actions of someone who has been helped to build the position in life that they hold, the financial position that will continue to come to them, and they just got bent up out of shape, and they know that they've got the money so they can try and attack these people for no actual benefit to them? He is going after Josh for copyright infringement, when you think that that's a little bit of a bitter pill to swallow, when Josh Cantu was actually the videographer for these videos. He is the person who created them. And I know some people are going to sit there and they're going to say, but that is contractual obligations for you. You have to abide by them. But this is about moral and ethics. This is about, do you believe that a good man, someone who is trying to rectify the wrongs that they either did or didn't do, because that's people's excuses, do you think that that same individual would set out to spitefully financially ruin someone who helped him build what he has, and especially when that person has got a young family? So while he parades himself as someone who helps families get answers and obtains a monetary benefit for doing so, behind the scenes, he is trying to destroy a young family for what seemingly appears to be just simply entertainment and out of spite. Other things I saw about going down to Josh's house, and I don't know what the undertone of that was, but to be saying we should go down there with a box of diapers and balloons when they were having their, when he'd had his children, or his last child. And I think to myself, that again just shows the utter spitefulness. It's like, the financial impact you're having, and yet you're, going there to ridicule? This is David versus Goliath. And in the story, David won. Who do you think should win in this story? Let me know down below. I'll catch you all in the next one.